Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. It is time for my June blooming garden. So my blooming garden project has been going on. We're in the second year now, and basically what it is every single month, 12 months of the year, I try and find something that I can plant in my garden that will be blooming that month. And it's been so great because I've been able to go back for the second year, and then all of a sudden beautiful blooms will pop up. And it's just, if I keep doing this, it's going to allow my garden to become a 12-month garden, which I know all of you can't do because you don't live in as mild a climate as I'm in. I'm in Northern California, zone 9B, but at least you can get the idea and try and expand out your blooms so it's not just peak. You don't just have a month peak in your garden, you have a very long, slow bloom, which is just, it's just so fun. It's just so fun every month to see what's blooming, what's coming next. I just love it. So let's see, last month was a rough month for the Blooming Garden project. I had planned this whole project. We're still planning this whole project, but with end of school and busyness and all that kind of stuff, we haven't quite gotten to it yet. So May of this past year, the Blooming Garden project was actually Star Jasmine in my secret garden, which we have not gotten to yet, but we are in the midst of working on it. It's just been crazy. But what I can do today is I can plant my June blooming garden, and I am so incredibly excited about this month's plants. I went to the garden center and I saw these and I was like, done. So I chose Agapanthus. And for those of you who live where Agapanthus is hardy, like zones 9 through 11, you will get it when I say that Agapanthus is a polarizing plant. Some people absolutely love it and some people absolutely hate it. And there's good reason, because Agapanthus is what you would call a parking lot plant. And I call parking lot plants that developers have planted in parking lots because they didn't put too much effort into it. They just wanted a tough plant that is going to be able to handle the conditions of the parking lot. And they threw in some Agapanthus and threw in some iceberg roses and threw in some lantana, and they were done, right? So we often see, here in California at least, we often see Agapanthus in not the most beautiful conditions. And I feel like that has skewed our opinion of Agapanthus. Same thing for daylilies. So anyway, I lived in a neighborhood. My last house was in a neighborhood, and around the corner from me, there was a house that had tons of Agapanthus, a bunch of different varieties in it. And when the Agapanthus would bloom, I would slow my car down as I was driving by just so I could take a good look at it. And that, I think, is what changed my mind on Agapanthus, because if you take away the prejudice of it being a parking lot plant, it's actually a really, really beautiful plant. Agapanthus is actually called, or its name means the love flower. It's really beautiful. And when you choose the right varieties, I will admit there's some varieties that I'm not a huge fan of. Another name is Lily of the Nile, or what was the other lily name? Something like that. It's not a true lily. Don't worry. It's, it spreads by rhizomes, but it's not a true lily, so it's not poisonous to cats or anything like that. But there are some really, really beautiful varieties. Specifically, this is one variety that I've always loved. It's called Storm Cloud. And the reason why I love it so much is because it has these dark, dark blooms. Sorry about my camera. It's not focusing today. It has these dark purple blue blooms, and they are so beautiful. I'm trying to find good lighting. It's early in the morning. There we go. Look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it's so pretty. So other varieties of Agapanthus are more of a blue color. They're like a light blue color. Some of them are like a lavender color, but Storm Cloud is one of the biggest. This guy can get up to 5 feet tall. It's bloom stalks, and you can see these bloom stalks are absolutely crazy. And, the foliage can get up to 2 feet tall and 2 feet wide. And it has these deep, saturated purple blooms that are just absolutely stunning. I love it. I actually planted one of these at my last house because I wanted to copy my neighbor. And then we ended up moving, literally a month later. So I never actually got to see it bloom. I don't even think I put it in the right spot because I put it in a little too much shade. So I'm really, really excited that I got my hands on these. So I was at the garden center yesterday. I went to a location, Green Acres is my local garden center, and they have 7 locations, I want to say. in California, and I went to a location that I actually had never been to before. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'd just never been to it before. And so I went in and was looking all around, and I saw these. There were 3 of them, and I was just like, oh, done, absolutely done. They're so beautiful. You could tell how gorgeous they were. When I brought them up to pay for them, the woman started counting, trying to count and see how many were there. And I was like, oh, there's only 3. And she's like, really? These plants are so full. And it was like, I know. I'm so excited about them. So anyway, I think that that'll be perfect. Now I do want to say that Agapanthus, the different varieties bloom at different times. And so some of them bloom, they all bloom in summer, right? And they all are known for a very, very long bloom period. So like up to 3 months of blooming, which is just fabulous. It's so exciting. Agapanthus, they can be hardy. They're usually hardy zones 9 through 11. And I think that that is the evergreen variety of Agapanthus, but there also is a deciduous variety of Agapanthus, or I should say herbaceous, because it basically dies back to the ground. And I think those varieties are hardy down to zone 7. So if you live in 7 or 8, you can find a variety of Agapanthus that might work well for your garden. For those of us in 9, 10, and 11, they're parking lot plants. They're very easy to find. But if you find a really cool variety like Storm Cloud, that's really going to make quite a statement in your garden. So anyway, they do bloom in summer, but some of them bloom earlier than others. Like at the garden center, there were some of them that were in absolute full bloom, and I probably should have grabbed one of those for the June blooming garden. But then I saw Storm Cloud, which is a little bit later of a bloomer, probably late June, almost July. I couldn't help myself. I had to grab it. So my plan for planting these is, I think, this area right here. This is in my center island. This is full sun, at least for right now. I do have a rising sun redbud that's growing up. I do have a little gem magnolia that's growing up. I have a rock steady vitex. I have a El Nino Chitalpa. So eventually there will be a little bit more shade, which I think will be absolutely fine, because Agapanthus can handle, I mean, it likes full sun, but it can handle a little bit of shade. And I did read that some places actually, where it's really, really hot, it actually likes a little bit of afternoon protection. And thinking back at my neighbor's house, my old neighbor's house, they did have a little bit of shade. They had some trees in their yard, and their Agapanthus was absolutely beautiful. So I actually think this is going to be a absolute perfect spot for it. I'm very excited. And then I actually have some other plants that I'm going to interplant around it today as well. But I want to get these guys in the ground first. So like I said, this is my rock steady vitex, which is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Doesn't this look like a Buddleia? It's not a Buddleia. It is not a Buddleia. This is rock steady vitex. Vitex is one of Robbie's favorite plants. He always recommends people to plant vitex, and I've never actually planted one before. This actually should be my blooming garden plant for this month. If you guys are looking for a plant, go look for vitex, because I'm driving around town and I'm seeing vitex absolutely everywhere. It's really, really fun to see it. And this was a relative new to me plant. I'm not super familiar with this plant, but now that I know it, I see it blooming everywhere. And I saw a tree form of this, and it was absolutely beautiful. So this guy is going to get about 4 feet wide, and then it can get up to, I think, 9 to 12 feet tall. I think it was 12 feet tall. It can get really, really tall. So it will definitely grow up, but it'll be pretty narrow. And so what I'm thinking is I'm going to go around it with the Agapanthus. I'll do one here, one here, over here, and then maybe one over here. And I think that that will look really pretty, with the thought that I might have to move the Agapanthus someday as all of this other stuff grows up. But I think for now, I have at least a couple years that I think that they'll really, really enjoy it. And yes, this is purple vitex right here, and then it has the purple Agapanthus around it, but I have some other really, really pretty plants of other colors that I'll plant around it that I think will make the purple pop. I almost kind of think of purple as like a foundational type color in my garden, like with the Russian sage that I have, and then the blue salvia that is just so beautiful. Let me get closer so you guys can see it without the there we go. Isn't that beautiful? So I just kind of think of it as like a foundation, and then pops of pink and pops of yellow, and pops of orange really just make it just just make it. I just love that look. So anyway, enough talking. Let me get the Agapanthus in real quick, and then I'll bring you guys back and I'll show you what the other plants I'm going to plant around them are. Not even express how happy I am with these plants right here. I am so happy I found them at the garden center. They are so beautiful. I can't wait till they're all in bloom. I will definitely show you guys, but I just love this. This strappy texture is exactly what this spot needed, and I'm really, really excited about it. And as the Vitex grows, these guys are going to go from, you know, like star of the show to kind of supporting, the supporting act basically, which I think will just be beautiful. Oh, I am just so excited about it. So anyway, these guys, they are drought tolerant, but they bloom better with a little bit of water, just like they are tolerant to a little bit of shade, but they bloom better with sun. So this is going to be full sun, at least for now, until all these other trees grow up. Full sun for now, and then we're going to hook them up to drip, and they're just, I'm just so happy with them. All right, so that is officially my June blooming garden, but I'm going to add a little bit of supporting plants around it, specifically some color other than purple. Let me show you what I have, because it's very exciting. What a good planting day. I have some really good plants today. Okay, so this one right here, this is a Bougainvillea. And it is called a Bambino. It is from Proven Winners, and it is a small Bougainvillea. Normally Bougainvillea, I love it. It is such a beautiful plant, but it's really hard to control because it just goes everywhere. It absolutely goes everywhere. So this one is meant to be a dwarf style, only 2 to 3 feet tall, 2 to 3 feet wide. And what they say is, you don't have to worry about it. Plant it and don't worry about it, which is so cool. And Bougainvillea does well for us here. This one is the zones 9 through 11. Bougainvillea is kind of borderline on zone 9, but if you put it in a hot enough space, it should do fine. So this one is called variegated orange because it has variegated leaves on it. Let me show you here. There we go. If you hear Monty in the background, he's rolling around there. So it has these beautiful, really cool variegated leaves on it, and then a beautiful orange. It's almost like an apricot-y orange color. It's not like pure orange, but it's gorgeous. So I thought that that would be really pretty over here by my Spanish lavender that's coming into its second bloom for the season. I thought it would be really pretty right here, right next to the driveway where it's going to get lots and lots of heat, which is exactly what a Bougainvillea wants. So I thought that would look really pretty with the purple Agapanthus. And then this garden center trip, I should have filmed it. It was a very successful garden center trip. I found Suncredible Sunflowers. I am so happy. These are from Proven Winners. I love these so much. I have planted other varieties of branching landscaping sunflowers in my garden this year, and I know I'm biased. But I like these so much better. In my opinion, these perform so much better than the Sunfinity sunflowers, and then I planted another variety in my stock tanks in front of my office, and they are just, they're not good. I want to take them out. I actually am going to take them out. So anyway, I got my hands on a whole bunch of these Suncredible sunflowers. They are only zone 10, so they really act like an annual for us. I've been able to overwinter them a couple times, but never super successfully. So I'm just planning on these as annuals right there, but I have 5 of them, and I am going to dot them all around this area. So it's just like that pop of yellow kind of popping up all around the Agapanthus, all around the Vitex, and all around the Bougainvillea. I'm very excited about this. This is a really good planting arrangement today. Planting combination, is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, planting combination. Very excited about my planting combination today. All right, so I got all the Suncredible sunflowers planted. They're gonna be beautiful. They're gonna get to about 3 feet tall, 3.5 feet tall, maybe 2 feet wide, 2 to 3 feet wide. They really fill in, and there are so many buds on these plants. They're gonna be absolutely gorgeous for the whole rest of the season. I'm so excited that I got my hands on them. So now I'm turning my attention to the Bougainvillea. And Bougainvillea, I just wanted to remind you all the importance of not doing a very common habit that we do when planting plants. Normally when planting plants, you take the can off and then you rough up the root ball. You want to scratch up the root ball just to make sure that those roots aren't going to get root bound and basically circle around each other. It's a very common thing that happens because as the plant grows inside the pot, the roots start circling around, and then you plant it in the ground and it just continues circling, and it just makes for a less healthy plant, a less stable plant, really easy to knock over, and it doesn't absorb as many nutrients because the roots are just kind of staying in that same area. So that's a really normal thing that we do when planting plants. However, for Bougainvillea, you don't want to do that. You don't want to touch the root ball at all. And I know that that sounds different, but and sounds wrong, but Bougainvillea have a very delicate root system. They are very sensitive plants. And basically, once I plant this variegated orange bambino Bougainvillea, it's probably going to go into shock, right? Right now it has a full bloom. The colored parts are actually the bracts. The blooms are the white spots, the white little tiny flowers on it. Has a full bloom right now, but as soon as I take it out of its pot and I put it in a new spot, it's going to get stressed out and it's probably going to drop all its bracts and all its flowers, and I have to be okay with that. So when I take this out of its pot, I'm going to be as careful as I possibly can to not mess with the root ball at all. I have have my hole dug already. I know it's the right size. I am putting a starter fertilizer in to help with those roots, to help get them developed, but I'm going to be as careful as I possibly can. Some people, when they plant bougainvillea, they will even just cut the can off or cut slits in it so the roots can come out, just so they don't touch the root system of bougainvillea. So just remember that when you're planting a bougainvillea, do the opposite of what you would normally do. And if the plant goes into stress, which, thank you, Monty. Come here, buddy. If the plant goes into stress, or if the plant starts losing its bracts or losing its leaves, don't worry about it. Just keep watering it, keep taking care of it, be patient, and it should bounce back. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plant this guy as carefully as I can. There you go. Put it in. Don't breathe. That's it. That's all I'm going to do for this plant. I know, it's crazy, and you kind of learn the hard way with bougainvillea not to mess with it. All right, let me show you guys an overview of my planting for today. My June blooming garden. Oh my goodness, I could not be happier. So, of course, to start off with, we have the Storm Cloud Agapanthus. They're gonna get, these bloom stalks can get anywhere from 3 feet to 5 feet tall, which is so fun. And you can see these 3 specimens, they are big, they are ready to go, and they're gonna be so beautiful. I love it. And then interspersed in between that, I have the Suncredible Sunflowers. They'll get about 3 feet tall, so they'll be a little bit shorter. And then the Agapanthus, which will be beautiful, and of course they're all blooming around the same time. And then finally we have the Bambino Bougainvillea Variegated Orange. Wow, this is a really beautiful plant. I've actually not really seen this plant at my garden centers. When I went to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, to do a Best for the West event, they were all over there. They were all over. So it was really exciting to get my hands on one of these. So I'm super happy about it. I will keep you all updated on how this bougainvillea does. But man, didn't this just... it just kind of changed this whole area. I'm really, really happy with it. So as always, I would love to hear what you all are planting for your June blooming garden and what zone you're in. Leave it in the comments section down below. And all of you, go check those comments just so you can get some really great ideas of what you can plant in your garden for your June blooming garden. I know, May, June, July, it's so easy. Like, you just go to the garden center and there's so much to pick from. The hard thing is when you start getting into the fall and the winter, and then you really have to figure out something good to plant. But for this month, man, we got it made. I'm really, really happy with my selections. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.